you! Thanks for stopping by! Welcome back to another disturbing manga review. Today I will be talking about In a Quagmire. Let me read you a synopsis from MyAnimelist. Quote, the main story, Fragile, is about a wealthy girl who's never had intercourse. She is introduced to it by none other than her maid, unquote. I wonder who wrote this. Of course! I know, my last disturbing manga review was also an Uzuka Waita story. I can't escape this man.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
This is becoming the Uzuka Waita channel. I should change my profile picture. I didn't plan to review another one so soon. This manga was recommended to me several times by user Mr. Patton. They left several comments asking me to cover this, and I like to make my fans happy. If you want me to review a certain manga, just comment below. I read all of them. Thank you for the recommendation, Mr. Patton. I have never heard of this manga, but it's Uzuka Waita, so I already have an idea of what it will be about. As usual, I will use YouTube-friendly language when talking about certain adult scenes. I will censor the naughty scenes. How disturbing is In a Quagmire? Let's talk about it. The manga opens with a young woman walking home at night. She passes through a park when she hears noise coming from the bushes. A short-haired woman is doing it with multiple homeless men, including licking their popsicles. The two women briefly make eye contact before she runs off. She arrives home to her mansion, where she is greeted by a maid. Welcome home, Mr. Sayuri. Sayuri? Huh. Where have I heard that name before? That's right. This is a prequel to mai-chan's daily life. We finally get to know what happened to her before she arrived at Kaede's mansion to be mai-chan's pet. I already know this won't end well. Sayuri has dinner with her parents. She can't stop thinking about what she saw in the park. That woman doing it with those filthy men and enjoying it despite the dirt and the stench. Her parents notice she isn't paying attention and hardly eating. Her mother thinks she got involved with a boy. She assures them that's not it. The father mentions she is his only daughter and carries the weight of the family name. He won't let her go out to parties anymore, warns her men will take advantage of her, and tells her it's past her curfew. I want you to remember this part for later. I sure hope nothing bad happens to this young naive woman in this Uzuka Waita manga. She goes to her room and finds a tape on her bed. She plays it and is horrified to see a young woman doing it with multiple guys. She calls herself a dirty dog in heat. The girl in the video is mai-chan. I recognize that hairstyle anywhere. Sayuri turns it off thinking it was a prank by one of the maids. She can't imagine having intercourse without love. That night, Sayuri takes a bath. She hears someone coming and hides. Two employees think the bath is empty and decide to have some fun. The woman licks the guy's popsicle and they start doing it. Once again, she's watching people having intercourse. When they finish, they talk about Sayuri. The man says he would sleep with her, but not date her. Sayuri begins to cry. As she steps out of the bath, she passes out. I guess from the shock of watching two people do it? She's found by a maid. In a flashback, we see a young Sayuri. Someone who I assume is her father is telling her she is of noble birth, she is to refrain from dating, and men will only want her for her money. That's a lot to put on one person. She wakes up in the park with no clothes. A group of homeless men spot her. She runs and trips, but luckily her maid Kaede is right there. Kaede? Where have I heard that name before? Kaede reveals she left her there because walking through the park with no clothes on would be a thrilling experience apparently. She doesn't have any spare clothes for the young girl, then proceeds to start doing it with the homeless men. She wants Sayuri to watch. She wants to leave but can't go back to the mansion in her birthday suit. She gets cold. She's going to catch pneumonia. The maid says she knows it was her who saw her doing it with those men the other day, and that Sayuri watched the employees doing it in the bath, and she left the tape on her bed. At first, Sayuri can't believe what she's seeing. The homeless men then start touching Sayuri and she starts to get aroused. Kaede says this is who she really is. She enjoys it. She asks the young woman, "Do you truly enjoy your life?" So this was her plan all along? To free Sayuri from her family's control? Sayuri begins to cry. Kaede consoles her at first, then touches her down there. She gets aroused, then a homeless man pins her to the ground, and they, do the Macarena? "You two leave me alone." Sayuri resists and says this is not what she wants. Kaede tells the guy to ignore her and to keep going. She gets assaulted. This is clearly assault. It's her first time and she bleeds. When it's over, Kaede acts happy for Sayuri's first time. A week later, Sayuri hasn't left her room. She can't talk to her family about it. She has no friends to confide in. Kaede comes in to check on her and she gets slapped. Sayuri asks how she could do that to her. Kaede opens up that when she was a kid, her mother was very depressed. One day, they went for a ride in the car and she drove it off a cliff to end their lives. But Kaede survived. She didn't want Sayuri to go through the same thing. She didn't want her to throw her life away due to shame. Then she kisses her, and that's enough to cheer her up. I guess everything is fine now. Kaede and Sayuri start to grow close. They have tea together. Sayuri thinks that as long as they have each other, she has nothing to be afraid of. The father becomes concerned with their relationship. That night, the two women are having some private time in the bedroom. Sayuri asks if Kaede loves her. Kaede says, "I love you a whole lot, more than anyone in the entire world." Sayuri says she can do whatever she wants to her. Kaede straps on a fake dong and they start making love. When they finish, Sayuri falls asleep in Kaede's arms. They're unaware that the father was secretly listening in, and he's not happy. The following day, the father brings Sayuri and Kaede to his office to announce he finalized her marriage arrangements. Her future husband will be a rich man from England and wants her to move there. Sayuri is scared to tell her father how she really feels. Later, Kaede takes Sayuri into the bathhouse, where their male employees are waiting for her. She's scared to go through with it until the maid encourages her to open up. She wants her to live for herself, not for her family. She needs to be liberated. Sayuri starts doing it with all the guys. One says he was wrong about her and wishes she was his girlfriend. She starts to tear up. They do it in different positions. Popsicles get licked and holes get filled. Sayuri enjoys her new freedom. She works up the courage to tell her father she doesn't want to get married. She storms out of his office as he yells at her.
"I will not be defied. You're mine. I own you. No more wire hangers."
The father redirects his attention at Kaede. Kaede slaps him hard. Later, Sayuri goes around the mansion, saying goodbye to the employees before she leaves. A maid informs her that Kaede already left because she was fired for slapping the father. Sayuri goes looking for Kaede. When she doesn't return, the father becomes worried and sends out a search team. The poor woman is walking around in the rain. She runs to the park, believing Kaede is there waiting for her. The park where this all started. She's crushed when no one is there. Meanwhile, the father is heading to the park. Where's her mother in all of this? In a flashback, Kaede reveals the reason she did this. He's responsible for her father's company failing, and he took his life. To make it worse, he assaulted Kaede's mother in front of her, then assaulted Kaede. She was only a child when this happened. Her mother was so depressed, she drove their car off a cliff. The father asks why she didn't take revenge on him only. Why did she have to drag Sayuri into this? Kaede tells him to go to Central Park tomorrow night before leaving. And he just lets her leave, I guess. That's a good question. Why didn't she just go after the father by killing him? I guess that was too easy. She wanted to do to him what he did to her. She wanted to take away his family and make him suffer emotionally. Even though Kaede wasn't at the park, there are horny homeless men that Sayuri has intercourse with. That's right, in the park, out in the open and in the rain. She's going to catch pneumonia. She calls herself a dirty dog in heat, just like mai-chan in the video. The father arrives at the park. An employee informs him Sayuri was violated by homeless men. He apologizes to her and says this is all his fault. He wants her to come home. She responds by trying to suck off her father.
What the hell did you just say?
The father and the employees are horrified. He screams. Sayuri doesn't recognize her father. She's too far gone. She thinks he's another man who wants to have intercourse with her. Kaede is watching the whole thing from a motel room. This was all part of her master plan, to seduce Sayuri, break apart the family, and ruin their legacy. Kaede, I hate you. If she wanted to ruin the family, then she should have slept with the mother too. Destroy his marriage too while you're at it. The manga ends with Sayuri losing her mind. Kaede says, it isn't orders that get a person to act, it's their heart. There's also 2 short stories after this. I'll go through those quickly. The first one is a woman named Mistress Sharon who gets kidnapped by a tribe while hunting for jackals deep in the jungle. The tribe strip her, gag her, tie her up in a cage, drug her, and mark her body. She gets piercings down there. She gets assaulted by the tribesmen. She drinks this strange liquid which causes her body to burn. She continues getting assaulted. At first it hurts, then eventually she enjoys it. Sometime later, a search team arrives to ask the tribe if they have seen this woman. One replies that she's the white pig they are going to sacrifice. Mistress Sharon appears dead inside. Did Goro Horikawa write this? If you don't know, I've covered 2 manga by Goro Horikawa, Slave Contract and Pet Humiliation Diary. Horikawa's stories mostly involve young women being forced into doing adult activities, usually involving BDSM. If you told me Horikawa wrote this, I'd believe you. The second story is about a woman named Mizuzu-chan, entering an apartment and is shocked to see her son Masayuki there. You see, the mom is in debt, and to pay it off, she has been working a secret job that involves going to clients' houses and pleasuring them. Her son found out about this secret job. He looks through her purse and finds adult toys. He makes his mom strip, gags her, and spanks her. He inserts adult toys in her, then assaults her. She thinks she can never call herself a mother again. He strangles her, then starts crying. He can't bear anyone being closer to her. This was a strange way for them to bond. For her son, she endures it. And that's how it ends. That was in a Quagmire. Uziga Waita always delivers on the disturbing. Let's get to my thoughts. Usually when I read reviews, I include multiple reviews. Those who liked or hated the manga. This time I could only find 1 review. I'm reviewing the main story for this anthology, Fragile. Fragile is a story about a rich, sheltered, innocent girl. This girl is likable. She is trying to be herself, instead of just being the type to please her family. The plot takes some interesting turns. If you're into corruption, it's amazing. Even if you aren't, the twist at the end is satisfying. The characters feel very believable, and their backstories make sense. There is no gore, but there is a lot of intercourse. It's obviously an adult manga. It's very short, only a few chapters, so very worth reading. The rest of the stories in the anthology are forgettable, but Fragile is quite good. Fragile 2 is very funny. If it weren't for Mr. Patton recommending this manga, I would have never known there was a prequel to mai-chan's daily life. I did question in my review of that manga if Sayuri was born without arms or legs, or had them removed. Uziga Waita finally answered the questions we've all been wondering about what happened to her before arriving at the mansion. This manga is just sad. Sayuri's life is ruined.
Sayuri's life was ruined. She was a pawn for Kaede to get back at her father. Sayuri gave up everything to be with someone who never cared about her. She lived a sheltered life, no family or friends to confide in, so when Kaede showed her affection, she quickly got attached to her. Kaede had every right to be angry at the father for ruining her family, but she didn't have to drag an innocent person into this. Maybe this was Uzuka Waita's plan, his commentary. By that, I mean this story could be a commentary on how children suffer because of their parents' actions. I think back to what the father said in the beginning, to be careful of men out to take advantage of Sayuri. He never expected a woman, more specifically their maid, to take advantage of her. This makes me hate Kaede. I didn't like her in mai-chan's daily life because she was cold and ruthless, but in this, she's just evil. If you've read mai-chan's daily life, then you know it doesn't get better for Sayuri. She is treated like a pet, accidentally killed, and Kaede leaves her body outside to rot. At least Mai genuinely cared for her. This manga is sadder than mai-chan's daily life. At least mai-chan was a dark comedy with over-the-top moments. This has none of that. It's just depressing. I want to cry for Sayuri. If you like this video, then consider liking, subscribing, or sharing. What are your thoughts on In a Quagmire? Which manga should I review next? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for stopping by.